Among the victims was a woman living in Queensland but from South Australia. Her Adelaide-based family learning of her death this afternoon.
Helena Sidolick was living on the Gold Coast and so had been listed among the victims from Queensland, but she was originally from South Australia and family has gathered in Adelaide today grieving her loss. Ms Sidolick had been returning from a dream European holiday aboard the ill-fated flight MH17. Workmates paying tribute to her as a much-loved friend with an infectious personality.
She's a very warm, very active lady, incredibly bubbly. She always had a smile, always had a hello, and she was always there to give a hand.
And if not for a moment of luck, Adelaide man Juan Hovel and his new wife Simone would have also been on the flight.
Turned on the phone and read about the tragedy, and that's when the real shock really kicked in. We've got some pretty good guardian angels.
The couple was at the end of their 5.5-week honeymoon through Europe and were scheduled to be on the doomed MH17 flight on Thursday, but had changed plans to get back home a day earlier.
They said to us that we were on standby. It was literally minutes before the gate closed. They came to us and gave us boarding passes to jump on the flight for the Wednesday.
But many friends and family weren't aware of the new plans and feared the worst.
It's been a bit overwhelming actually. Everyone just sending messages through. Like I said before, people thought we were on that flight, when they saw the news this morning.
Juan and his new wife coming to terms with their own fortunate turn of events while thinking of those other innocent travellers, victims of a war they had nothing to do with.
Feeling lucky, but at the same time, just hearts bleed for these families that, expecting their loved ones to come home.
Live now to Will McDonald at Adelaide Airport, and Will, no doubt some nervous passengers there.
Yeah, there sure is, Kate, but I think the sense of shock is even more overwhelming. Certainly this tragedy people would have considered absolutely unthinkable, a passenger jet being shot out of the sky. Certainly that sense of sympathy and shock was very evident here at Adelaide Airport this morning among those passengers about to get on a Malaysian Airlines plane. Some of those were bound for Europe. Now, not surprisingly, some were a little bit apprehensive about making that flight just hours after the attack.
No words can describe it. It's terrible. I really feel for the families.
Concerning, but you just got to go with the flow. You never know, it could happen with anybody, any airline.
A little bit nervous, but trying not to think about it.
We are scared. This shouldn't happen to an international aircraft.
So clearly people are thinking of the risk, no matter how small it may be. But even in the face of this terrible tragedy, no one seems willing to let an act of terrorism ruin their plans. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Will.